Hey guys, Scott here to talk about season 9 of Doctor Who. We're talking full spoilers, so if you haven't watched the episodes, any of the season 9 episodes yet, go do that before you watch this. Okay, so season 9 of Doctor Who. I thought this was a really great season of Doctor Who, possibly the best season of the modern run of the show. Show's been back for 10 years now. It relaunched in 2005, and this was really just a spectacular season. We got a lot of emotional depth from the Peter Capaldi Doctor, the 12th Doctor. It seemed as though Capaldi really sort of found his groove this season as the Doctor. He was a little stuffy and kind of grumpy last season, a little more rigid. This year, he still had that off-putting kind of personality, but he was much more lovable and more down to earth. He had the guitar, he had the sonic shades. It seems clear there was an effort on the part of showrunner Stephen Moffat to kind of tone down the Doctor in that way. I thought it really worked well. Jenna Coleman as Clara had her farewell season. Her character was very well served, I thought, by where she wound up in the end. A lot of fans aren't big fans of Clara, but I thought that what they did with Clara was pretty cool and interesting. The companion left, as all companions must eventually do, but in this case she sort of became a doctor onto her own self. Her and Shielder, the Maisie Williams character, wound up leaving in a TARDIS, and Clara is now essentially immortal, as is a Shielder. So she's kind of a doctor now, which is where Clara always was kind of heading. So that was really kind of cool too, I thought. The season dealt a lot with the themes of mortality and death. Clara actually did die in the 9th episode of the season, and the Doctor in the season finale saved her, sort of, in that he grabbed her from the last heartbeat before her death. She will eventually have to return to that moment, but when she will do that, who knows? But throughout the season, the concept of death and mortality was often raised. It's an idea that the Doctor himself has to face frequently, even though he himself does not really die. He is, for all intents and purposes, an immortal. And his companions, though, they come and go, and some of them eventually die. They can't last. They can't live forever the way he can. So this was something that the show kept touching upon. Maisie Williams, her much anticipated arrival on the show. Nobody knew who she was going to play. It was a big mystery. Was she going to be the Doctor's granddaughter from the old show? Was she going to be another relation of the Doctor's? It turned out she was a new character, this character, Ashilda, who was a Viking girl who died while protecting her people with the Doctor. And the Doctor decided to break his own rules and use alien technology to save her, brought her back to life, and in so doing, she also became immortal. She could not die. So she became a sort of Doctor figure in and of herself, and learned that perhaps she would have been better off dying, because there is no greater fate than living forever and watching your children die, watching everyone around you die, everyone you care for die. And so Ashilda was a sort of stand-in for the Doctor himself. In the end, it all came down to the Doctor having to try to break his own rules again to save Clara from death, which he kind of did, but he did have to pay the ultimate price, which was that him and Clara had to separate, and the only way the universe could be safe was if the two of them were no longer together. So the Doctor kind of did the reverse Donna Noble here, to go back to that character, and he had to erase his own memory. So we are left with the Doctor not knowing who Clara was, not remembering her. He knows she existed, he knows there was a companion named Clara, but that's all he really knows. Of course, the highlight of this season was the penultimate episode, Heaven Sent. Right after Clara seemed to die, or did in fact die and face the Raven, the Doctor was then sent to this sort of purgatory in Heaven Sent, which turned out to be him inside his own confession dial, where he was hiding his deepest, darkest secret, the true reason why he left Gallifrey. It seems that the reason he left Gallifrey was that he feared that he was in fact the prophesied hybrid that we had been hearing about all season. And of course, it turned out that really it was him and Clara together who were the hybrid. But he spent all of Heaven Sent in this sort of really self-made purgatory, I suppose, since it was his confession dial, having to live out the same torturous, painful, remorseful few days of trying to escape from this mysterious castle that he was in. And in the end, the twist of that episode was that it turned out he was in that same sort of Groundhog Day cycle for billions and billions of years. Very, very effective episode, and really the high point of the season. So again, season 9 of Doctor Who, just terrific, spectacular stuff. Capaldi and Coleman together were really great. I'll miss Jenna Coleman. I'm anxious to see where the show goes from here in season 10. But that's about it for now. Be sure to read my full season review as well. And for all of you Doctor Who needs, keep it locked to IGN.